Email account, so it's record. Okay, I can't go live on Twitter. A print background. Okay, I will. I'll do it. I'll do it next time. Live over here. Key for that. Okay, okay. Oh, on blue. Okay, okay, we live right now. So boom, look, get back. Let me get back to the page I want over here. That shit up. Last week's games. Top. Hey, here we go. Hey man, I'd like to thank all y'all for coming back once again to the top of it. This is the Inside the Huddle Fantasy Football Championship Fantasy Football League. I am your host, co-host, Team LAV, aka the better team. You understand me? I'm joined in here by He Who Remains, aka Big Banks, also known as, you understand me, the swindler and the mover and the shaker, the swindler and the dealer. What's up with it, baby? What's up with it?
Man, another week, man. I was at the casino last week rolling dice and looked like I came out with 7s and 11s. You know what I'm saying? But it was a great week, and I can't wait to talk about it, and can't wait to have a great show. Glad to be with you.
Glad to be with you as always. But so let's go ahead and get into the business of the show, man. Let's go and get into that rewind, the week three rewind. One time, we had Ruben's Raleigh team going against Bread Hunter. Bread Hunter was coming in with all the hope in the world to get their first win. Ruben's Riders team was just trying to, keep it going after getting a win the first week, but it looks like Ruben will be won with the L2 as he takes a loss to Bread 166 to 136. I'm briefly touch on this. Bread was led in scoring by Lamar Jackson, who had 30 points to lead the team. Um, Next up, we're gonna keep this a little bit more briefer than we don't normally do.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna run it and get into it. Just so y'all know, keep y'all up on point. We had the Mac of the Year going against Phil Belichick. The Mac of the Year came out with a 165 to 151 win. Um, Bill Belichick won their first game. They have lost two in a row. And D Mac of the Year lost their first game, and they have got on a 2-game winning streak, and they've been looking good. They've been
Yeah.
looking good since their first week.
Real good.
Uh, they were led in scoring by 26 from James Cook. They didn't get the game they wanted from Chase, but man, they had a solid all around performance to get the win. And Phil Belichick, yeah, they got to do some work over there. They got to get it together. Next up, we had Mac Twin, Mac going against MMT. Uh, Look, Mike, Texas Tycoons, Michael's monstrous team, MMT came out with the 177 to 145 win. Oh man, Mac is 0-3, y'all. He is 0-3. Uh,
Tough.
MMT is looking good. They 2-1. I'm gonna call them MMT. I'm gonna call um Mac Twin Team Mac. Uh, they had Montgomery with 33.9 for MMT. It's solid from Nico with 28. Solid all the way up and down the roster. Just not enough going on for the Mac as they had 34 from Hertz, but not much more anybody else did to make a factor in the game. Um, Moving right along, we had Lewis going against natural born Kyler, and Coach Tommy just keeps doing it, man. They just keep. We're gonna slow down right here. We're gonna touch on this a little bit. Yeah, man, it was 194 to 152. Natural born Kylers are not killers.
They changed the
Uh,
ticker.
oh yeah, 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 right. It's 194 to 152. I got caught up in there. Forgive me. Uh Not like I said, natural born Kylers are not killers. They are Kylers. They definitely are Kylers. They're 1 and 2. Off to a very slow start this season. I can't say much, but I am giving, my assessment on this. But that team Lewis, that coach Tommy, man. Listen, you get a 0 from Lamb. Lamb don't even make a bad list because he got hurt with the 0. It's not like he went out there and gave you two goose eggs. He got hurt, man, and they were led and scoring by 40 points from their defense. I think that's unprecedented. I mean, you get 19 on the other side, and it's still 21 more. Come on, man. Look, yeah, 39 for Taylor. So you got 39 for Taylor, you get 40 for the Vikings defense, you got 49 points out of two players. Now you just mix this other shit up in the pot. Now you could just imagine, man. You get a normal game from CD Lamb. What are we talking about here?
you talking about 220?
What if you have a 30-point game?
Ooh, say man, with like, look, I gotta commend Coach. You know what I'm saying? He had a great week this week. Even with, like you say, without Lamb. So for him to still be able to come through, he pushing all the right buttons right now.
All of the right buttons. I'm looking at his bench. Uh, and it's a little midi. You got Johnson on the bench, but got a good team. I'm taking them out obviously because I have invested interest coming up. But going over to this other side, oh man, I should be knocking on that door. He got a couple of things over there I would be interested in, one or two anyway. I don't think he want to come off, but Higgins at flex. Oh, Higgins at flex, interesting. Uh, I think we may have an adjustment to another segment now that I did a little bit research has landed in my lap. But yeah, man, it was a not so good. Yeah, 28. C Mac can still continue to do it. Post defense, just not enough. Crosby a 9.
I'm,
Wagner.
Look, I don't want to interrupt you, but I want to tell you real quick what stands out to me for the Collars. He took Justin Jefferson, in the first round, the first pick, which I can see anybody doing that, like anybody would do that if they had the opportunity. But he has been very underwhelming for the Collars this season, and I think that has hovered over the team like a dark cloud.
A very dark cloud. I mean, we made a good decision with the picking up Wagner. I didn't see that coming. That was nice. But I mean, he's only a defensive player. He can't do much
Yeah,
more than what he gave you. He gave you what he was supposed to give you, you know?
yeah.
Um and then they gotta figure some stuff out over there. The natural born Commons. I don't know what they're gonna do. It'll be interesting to see. But let's go ahead and keep this moving as we get into this next matchup, which was a rivalry of sorts. It was NN and G with the 134 to 116 win over the better team. In the no nuts, no glory was able to get out the back door and win against the better team. They beat the better team. I mean, it's just as simple as it. They won against the better team. Listen, I'm gonna put on my coach hat and get up here. But before I do that, I'm looking at No Nuts No Glory, led by a combination of 20 from St. Brown and Urban. St. Brown's 20 came when he needed it most. That's what you like to get, right? You
Yeah,
come into a matchup, you want the win, you in position to get the win. You have a player that's playing, and he goes out there and give you 20.
yeah,
That's you can't ask for much more than that. You just can't. And he did his players did what they were supposed to do. They put up a 134, and mine didn't. I had a nice game from the defense. Good scouting. The scouting department went and scouted and got and picked streamed those Tampa Bay defense and got 19 points. You would think that that would be something you could put in the pot and and for you. But at the same time, with it's like a seesaw because on the flip end, the Falcons they picked them up. That was a -8.
yeah.
Oh, you could use that eight. That eight hurt. Let me tell you, I was sitting there. At one point, I had jumped up to 101. 20 minutes later, I was at like 89 points. I can't make this shit up. 20 minutes later, I text back. I said, man, I was up at 101, man. Now my shit under 90. What the fuck? Niggas just kept going backwards. Connor got hurt. That was like, I think that kind of broke the spirit. I would have expected Neighbors to do a lot better than he did. He had the opportunity to be like, hey, if you're gonna get this St. Brown, you gonna have to come with 24 or better. That's what I needed from Neighbors. I needed 24 points, not 4 points. And ultimately we took the L.
Let me say something real quick about TBT. See, it's rearing its ugly head as what I said I was worried about at the very beginning of the season about this team. I said they got players like Neighbors, and I specifically said they putting him up in the stratosphere of Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. I said this is where they putting him, and I said can he live up to that kind of potential? He had one enormous game this season. And the other two games that he had have been so lackluster. You would have thought that he was the third option, not the number one option. Maybe even the fourth, because that's the kind of production that he's gave. And like I just said about Justin Jefferson hovering over the collars like a dark cloud, I'm gonna say the way that Neighbors has been playing, you cannot have a hole in your offense when you expect so much out of a player week to week and he performing the way he performing.
I would say it has a lot to do with the quarterback position. Last year he had Jones and he was spectacular. And we all know, well, maybe we did pump. Maybe Jones is a lot better than we gave him credit for. Maybe it had something to do with the coaching in New York. I don't know, but he was much better last year with Daniel Jones than he was this year with Russell Wilson. Uh, we're excited to see him with the new quarterback, Jackson Dart. I think somebody who might make those throws, zip it in there, got a little bit more ability to see over the defense. So hopefully that.
Look, real quick, the last thing we're gonna touch on this, well, I'm gonna say, and then we're gonna end this on it like this. You just said that it might be the quarterback play.
Mm,
And I had just mentioned on how Justin Jefferson has been playing under what his potential is. See, the difference between those two players is Justin Jefferson playing on his potential, but he's still giving you a 15. He's still giving you a 16. With a bad quarterback,
vet,
somebody might say a worse quarterback than what the Giants got.
vet. He's a vet.
But
This is Neighbor's second year. He'll figure it out.
okay, okay,
He'll figure it out.
all right.
Moving right along. Let's get into our game of the week last week. Uh, this team will be featured in the games of the week until otherwise noted. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
right now they're at the top of the Mount Everest division. They're at the top of the standings of the whole league. We're talking about he who remains undefeated as they continue their trouncing of the teams in front of them. This was a little closer. Detroit or nothing gave them a fight. They did. They put up a good fight. 169, it's nothing to sneeze at. They find themselves 0-3 though. I wouldn't want to get caught out in that cold, but that's where they find themselves at. They're gonna have to figure a way to dig out of that humongous trench. But he who remains is moving right along, man. They 187 to 169. They're enjoying the fruits of their labor, and need I say, the rich get richer. Stay tuned for that. Drop a little jewel for that. Led scoring by Gibbs, 32. Solid, solid, solid pickup. I know they feel way more happier with Gibbs as a selection than they did with the selection of the running back they had last year. Um, and they wanted to try to make a swing a deal to get Gibbs. So they finally get to get him, get him coming in. It's all coming back full circle. Kyron Williams, 24. Puka, 23. You got two Rams giving you 47, 48 points. Oh, it's a beautiful day. Said 19 from the Seahawks defense and a 10 from their punter. Rounds out their leading scorers. Everybody else, chipped in just enough to make it too much. You know what I mean? And I'm looking up and down Detroit or nothing. They had a great performance from the Steelers defense, 21 points. Mason had 28.8 as a flex at a running back. Yeah, 15 from Hawkinson, 15 from Adunze, 16 for Adams, 18 from Pollard. Uh Dobbins on the bench with an 18, he might have made it a little interesting. No, but why would you bench Chase Brown? So what would you do? I mean, he did the best he could, and it wasn't good enough, but it was a good performance. Look, man, he who remains are in a league of their own right now. It's early in the season, but they're the class, dare I say, of the 3-0 teams. Um, man, you're looking good right now. How are you feeling?
Look, I salute that statement that you just made, and I appreciate how you eloquently just put that out there like that. Because let me say this: what Detroit or nothing just did last week can beat many teams many weeks. 169, you just reeled off how all of his players, he had several players that had 15 or more. Like his players was going off. Hawkinson, when you say he had that 15, it was a 15.9. I distinctly remember that shit. So he really a 16, really.
Really,
Like
16.
like these boys, he's like when you just said I got 40 something from my Ram players. Well shit. He got 40 damn near he got 40 plus from his players in Minnesota. So I mean,
Hawkinson and Mason, yeah.
yeah, so I'm saying like it was a great game for Detroit or nothing. So they should hold their head and they should be thinking going forward that they can pull themselves up by their bootstraps and try to get back in this thing. You know what I'm saying? Because they do have the players when they come to play that can get the job done. So I want to really talk more on them than about me in this situation. I felt that I was going to win coming in, not just because it's my team, just the actual players that I got. I preach this that consistency, and I feel like that those are the players that I go after when I'm doing my draft, and I want consistent players that's going to get the job done. I feel every week. And that's what I feel like I did. I just drafted consistent players. So I feel like I'm gonna be in every game every week and if somebody have a player on their team uh, just don't live up to what he's supposed to do, then it could get ugly.
It can get ugly. Oh, we got a quick note. We have let me read because we have a comment. I came across your channel and I see you have a great channel, but never mind. Somebody's listening, so we appreciate it. Tap in with us. We might can work some business. Um, Great win, great win. Speaking of great wins, you picked great this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. You went 5-1. I obviously went 3-3. Had you not taken me, Shit, you could have had 6-0. I appreciate the vote of confidence.
Yeah. And
We
then
look up after 18 games, it's 13-5 to
what's
thirteen
crazy,
five.
watch last week's show, they gonna see, whoa, how did he miss one when he picked Draper or No Nuts No Glory on the show? Well, I want to let everybody know after the show, immediately after
Changed it.
I went and looked at No Nuts No Glory team. They had 4 players that was questionable, and I said, you know what, I'm switching my pick. So that's on me that I didn't go undefeated this week.
Well, don't feel so bad. You really did pick the better team. It just wasn't the better this weekend. Uh 13-5, 13-5. Okay, good 5 in 1 week. You have to catch up. I had a horrible week, but it's always next week. We'll see how we play out next week. That's the end of our week 3 games. It was a wonderful week.
Yeah.
I look forward to the next week as we upcome tomorrow. Kicks off in tomorrow. Let's get into some more league business. We had some trades that came across our ticker. Um, let's go ahead and I didn't. I did. Yeah, we had the trade. I was supposed to have put that up. I didn't put it up so you could see it. Maybe I can't do it really quick. I'll get my team working on. We had Derrick Henry traded to He Who Remains for Jacoby Myers, Cortland Sutton, Lad McConkey, and Aaron Jones. He sent four decent, this is nice, and Sutton's a really good player. Myers is borderline. McConkey is just underneath those two. Aaron Jones is injured. I don't know what that's about. He is not the Aaron Jones of Aaron Jones old, nor do I think he would even get on the field in a substantial way going forward. That remains to be seen. Man, the rich really do get richer. What happened? How did you pull this off? That's what people want to know. That's what I want to know.
Well, let me say this. Let me say this. First of all, I want to thank the better team for winning the first week against Mac Twins, a magnificent team, because they really wanted to beat the better team in the first week. So when they didn't, I started after that game right there, like inquiring about trying to, get Derrick Henry. And what ended up happening is that I just kept on letting him know that I'm very interested in Derrick Henry. So even after he fell to 0-2, I tried to make a trade, and I felt like that it was a substantial trade that could get the job
Trey,
done, but he turned it down. And when he went 0-3, I think that was the camel that broke the straw that broke the camel's back, because what ended up happening is that he sent me a message, just, you know what, let's get a deal done. So I put a package together, I sent it over to him, and we got the deal done. I think that he got 3 starting receivers that are better than all of the receivers he currently had on his squad. So that means he can instantly flip one starter, which is Henry, into 3 starters on his team. Then
mm,
he had Nick Chubb on his team, so he can just elevate him to the RB2 spot. And then Aaron Jones, he's coming back in October, which
to
is,
do what?
well, this is what I'm explaining to you, like who he is. He is the pass catching part of the Minnesota backfield. So you have Jordan Mason that does the running. He's going to do the catching of the ball. So when he come in, he's going to get numbers for you, because simply they still gotta keep the team off balance. So when he in there, he is going to get some carries, but he's also going to catch the ball a lot more too. So I'm saying he's an all-around back that doesn't have to put up 100-yard game rushing to still give you numbers, because that's the kind of skill set that he has. So if anybody happens to go down in the future for him, he'll now have a backup that he can really depend on, that he can put in the RB2 spot in Aaron Jones. So he really ended up getting four starters that for one starter. I
Four
think
starters for one starter.
I think and then all of the other players that he got, he can now put them on the bench, which makes him a loaded team from front to back.
Aaron
So
Jones coming back. He immediately so he traded for a player he put on injury reserve. Interesting.
yeah, but he, like I say, he look. Uh,
Four
I,
starters for one starter, but he only starting two of the starters. I
and,
mean,
and let me say this too.
you
I,
get more points with 30. What is that? 29 points. How much they got him in average projected? Let me see.
23 this week.
He gained 6 points. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And
Well, you basically saying he addressed some holes and he had a poor receiving core. He addressed some holes in his receiving core, and he's hoping that maybe uh help him out later on down the road.
yeah, but look, let me also say this. I tried to make trades for Saquon Barkley early in the year. I tried to make trades for Drake May and other quarterbacks when I needed a quarterback at the beginning of the year. I tried to trade for CD Lamb most recently, and this is right after CD Lamb got hurt. I sent over a massive trade that included the young new running back Quinshawn Junkins, along with two.
Speaking of him, why was he not part of this trade? I don't mean to interrupt. Just
Well,
real quick.
well, he wasn't. He was initially a part of this trade. He was, but
So I would have demanded.
but what ended up happening is that when I seen how great that I believe he's going to be going forward, I felt that now that would be giving away too much at that point because I'm getting if he's going to be an RB1 possibly going forward, and I gave away three starting wide receivers, that would just be way too much to give up. So that's when I said no. I got to keep him, and I'll give you Aaron Jones. That'll be back in October. And if you have any, like I said, if you have any problems with your backfield, boom, you can just pop him in at any time. So that,
He's 0-3. He can't wait to October.
well, that's why. Look, that's why you
Big
upgrade
Chubb over there.
core. That's why you upgrade the wide receiving core right now, and you get three starters immediately. His wide receiving core was
But they
was.
got Chubb at a 16 though.
That's what I'm
You
saying.
hate projections, but they got him at a 16. He's projected. I mean, it look good on paper, 165, but it ain't that bad.
That what I'm saying. So in reality, what he did with this trade was he thought logically where most people don't think logically in fantasy football. People are so stuck on names, but he thought logically like, hold on, this one name got me to 0-3. So let me pick up FOMO names and see what they could do for me to get me out of this hole. And that's what he did. And I salute him for that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, he had two starters immediately. It looks like he with the Myers and Sutton. I mean, that is definitely upgraded what he had. He was going with Hollywood Brown and yeah, Debo Samuel, he had Stephon Diggs over there.
Yeah, look at what they
Uh,
got that for projected an 8 or something like that.
that's Stephon 7-9. That is despicable.
That's what I'm saying.
Debo with a 13,
Hollywood Brown,
Hollywood at 9,
Hollywood Brown.
9-8, 9-8, and then you got McConkey with a. You got McConkey on the bench with a 12.
But
You didn't
look,
want him.
McConkey only with a 12 just temporarily. That ain't gonna be like that all the time. It's gonna be some weeks where he is gonna say 15. You
Mm.
know what I'm saying? So I'm saying like look, that was a massive trade. In the all algorithms that I put it in, Roto, in the ESPN app. they all say that he won the trade hands down. So
You can say that. You can. Um, I mean, it depends on what Henry do, but I would have looked at Henry as one of the fabrics of the team. But I guess he didn't look at it that way. Boy, he looked at it as if he had to say something up to save the season.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
But we had another trade this week too.
yeah, we did, didn't we? That was
Okay,
that.
okay. So we had Travis Hunter from he was traded by Mac Twin to the better team for DK Metcalf. So, like, can you kind of give us a little insight on what happened, what prompted that, and how it went down a little bit, if you would?
Well, actually, the trade came from I had inside knowledge of the Henry trade, and part of me, having had Henry so long, wanted to be a part of that trade, but I felt that because he who remains had spoke to me in confidence, that to approach that trade after speaking with he who remains would have been unethical,
All right,
right?
right.
So I stayed out that way, and I just wanted to see how that manifested itself. But I wanted in. I did want in. But I didn't approach it, like I said, and then the news hit. The news hit late. I got the news. I was blown away. Early in the morning, I was blown away by the news. I was astounded because I do have an affinity. I didn't think Henry was on the market. If had I known he was actually on the market, I would have tried to finagle my way in that deal some way somehow. But like I said, I respected the unity of our conversations, and I didn't. On the heels of that, however, I saw a player. Let me put it. Let me rewind. I was having a conversation with he who remains, and I give him another assist for two trades I've made this year. And he spoke on Travis Hunter. And the information he spoke to me went off like a light bulb. I was like, I have an idea. I looked at the receivers that he had received, and I felt that I had a receiver that was comparable, if not better, than everyone in that deal. And so the thing about it is I was not happy with Dust receiver and was contemplating shuffling his roster spot. I wanted someone else to be in the league. I mean, in the roster that was a young receiver, and I couldn't fathom moving him over DK with DK still on the team.
Yeah.
So I decided that it was better to trade DK for Travis Hunter. But the unique thing about Travis Hunter that really, really made me want to go get him was the fact that he's a receiver and a defensive back. And
Mm,
I've never saw a receiver play defensive back in this league ever before. I asked him if he wanted how he felt. Let me back up. My initial offer to him was to try to get Spillnade.
oh,
Spillnade had a wonderful game. Spillnade, somebody he's had last year. I felt that Okereke was solid at the linebacker, and that he may want to keep Okereke and maybe wanted to deal with Spillnade. He did not respond to that inquiry. And then I had the conversation about Travis Hunter shortly thereafter. And my immediate response to him when he texted me was, "How you feel about DK Metcalf for Travis Hunter?" And he was like, "I like it." And so, from a pure receiver standpoint, maybe you wouldn't do that. Maybe.
yeah,
But if you can play Travis Hunter at defensive back and get receiver stats, then that changes everything because that's almost looked like a 2-for-1. I moved Ted up to the W2 receiver spot, and I moved uh, Travis Hunter to the defensive back spot,
yeah.
which is like having another flex position. So very unique, so very, very unique. To have a projected 12 at DB, which could easily be 30, 40 points. Easily, easily. A pick, six touchdown, couple. catches, runs. You know how any easily. It was a no-brainer for us. And when he was willing to part with him, I hurry up and sent the DK over there, and he stamped it. And I mean, the rest is history. We're looking forward to. We have a youth movement. We have four rookies that are going to be starting this week. We do have a minor calf injury with Tech. We're gonna monitor that, but we possibly, let me just say that, I don't want to step too soon. We possibly have four rookies starting this week. It was an amazing deal. Shout out to Mike Twin. I appreciate it, brother. I mean, you got what you wanted. I got what I wanted. DK went right into the starting receiver WR1 position, and hey, man, I hope it works out good for him because I know it's gonna work out good for us.
Oh, it was a great trade, man. I mean, it was the insight, that you received and that you took, and I mean, hey, man, Travis Hunter, I think he'll be good for anybody at the DB position, anybody. So for you to get him, and to add him to your team, I mean, that just makes you bolsters you and make you a little bit more stronger.
I'm just happy that you didn't incorporate him into your trade.
Yeah,
I,
I,
that would be no hope for the league if he would have done that. Let me just say that.
I would
If he
try.
either got Henry and Hunter,
Yeah, I would try to be greedy like that. I would try to just, get out the door with what I can get out the door with, which was who I was looking for. And I think that Henry's going to be consistent for me, So it's just like Hunter is going to be the best DB in the league for you this year.
he's gonna be the dead best. He's already projected leaps and bounds over all the other DBs. So we're excited about Travis Hunter. We are very, very excited about it. Unless you got anything else on the trades, man. Wonderful trades. Mac Twin was involved in both of these trades this week. That's our third trade this season. We encourage the other owners and franchise owners, man. You can't make your team better through free agency. Get on the phone, get on the horn, get on the phone. It's a lot of players that are not playing actively week to week that may be able to get elevated and start on your roster and help y'all be better because I know I need it. I needed it. You're trading for luxury. I'm trading for need. We
Mhm.
ain't the same. All right, let's do this moving, man. Let's go ahead and get into this part of the show that I love. So get your etiquette up. It's Big Bank's Fine Dining Hour. What you got for us today, Banks?
Oh man, I appreciate that throw, man. Let me say this, man. I want to welcome everybody to the Fine Dining Hour, where each week we highlight the top 5 players that set the table for their teams to eat. Coming in at number 5, number 8, he kicks it off at number 5. His first time to make the Fine Dining Hour this season, but I'm sure it won't be the last. Oh man, let me just run that back right quick. Right.
Go
I want
ahead.
I want to welcome everybody to the Fine Dining Hour, where each week we highlight the top 5 players that set the table for their teams to eat. All right, number 8 kicks it off at number 5. His first time to make the Fine Dining Hour this season, but I'm pretty sure it won't be his last. He helped propel his team to the first victory of the season with 288 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. Throw in 7 carries for 35 yards. Talking about two-time MVP Lamar Jackson with a 30.52. Lamar Jackson, he finally made the list. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it won't be his last one this season. Coming in at number 4, in fourth place this week, we have the first of 2 NFL teammates. Mr. All Around is what I call him because he's all around the field making plays. And this week, he again gave you a little bit of this and a little bit of that with 22 carries, 67 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 5 receptions for 32 yards. Talking about Jameer Gibbs with a light 32.8. That's a light 32.8 for Jameer Gibbs, y'all. Because he's splitting backfield, this like he always do still this season. And speaking about that, at number three, this guy made the most out of his limited opportunities, but with his production, you wouldn't think he was part of a split backfield by tallying 12 carries for a jaw-dropping 151 yards, and that's like 12.5 a pop, y'all,
Mm.
with two touchdowns, and also had one reception for 13 yards. That's Mr. David Montgomery with the 33.9. Man, that dude right there, at the first time two NFL teammates made the
He
final,
slammed the door.
uh, and they both had over 30 for their respective teams this week. Number two, coming in second. This is his second week in a row, and also the second week in a row that two players from the same team made it onto the. Oh man, I'm about to back there. Oh man, cut that right there. I'm supposed to have that with that. Okay, all right. I'm coming in now. All right,
Okay.
coming in second. This is his second week in a row. And to make the list, um, the fine dining hour. He had 17 carries for 102 yards with three touchdowns and three receptions for 16 yards for a whopping 39.7. He beat Jonathan Taylor.
Mm. Oh,
Oh, you know what? No, my bad. I got to run that back again because I'm thinking about Jameer Gibbs and that kind of throw me off. I did write that down right. I'm tripping, so I got to run that back again.
bet.
All right, coming in second. This is his second week in a row, and also the second week in a row that two players from the same team made it onto the fine dining hour. He had 17 carries for 102 yards with three touchdowns and three receptions for 16 yards for a whopping 39.7. He beat Jonathan Taylor. Man, this dude, I think that right now he's the early runner for NFL MVP, or at least Offensive Player of the Year, because he has been just outstanding the first 3 weeks of the season. Number one, now, for number one, I've never seen a performance like this. And because they're the second defense to make the fine dining hour, and also the second defense to outscore their entire starting lineup, and also outscored every player in the entire league. Period, with two interceptions, three fumble recoveries, four sacks, only allowed 10 points, scored two touchdowns for a mesmerizing 40. I'm talking about the Minnesota Vikings. They scored a 40 pack. They led every player in the entire league in points. It was the Minnesota Vikings defense. And that's a wrap. And thanks for visiting the Fine Dining Hour this week, everybody.
Nice dishes being served. Do you hear me?
Man,
Whoa, that 40 ball from Minnesota.
say that was just that was some unbelievable shit right there, man, to get that 40 ball. But
Never seen a score like that in fantasy football.
no,
Now,
no,
mind you, we do give bonuses in this league for excellent play, like 10 points allowed. But I've never seen anything approach that to lead all scores from the defense perspective. Shout out to Minnesota.
shout out to Minnesota. Now, what everybody always be waiting on, and what they want to see who gonna be next on the beauty of the week. Well, this week we have Paris Saint Germain footballiste women's club player Sakina Karoshi. When I say that she's a bad motherfucker, man, I ain't playing no motherfucking games, man. And she ain't playing no motherfucking games, man. I'm talking
What
about
nationality? She a soccer player. Qatar.
she she she
Qatar. That's
French. She French.
French.
Yeah, she French. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That she French. But look like she mixed with black and white is what it looked like. I'm gonna tell you, ooh wee, man, she's a bad motherfucker. Shut your mouth, man. You know what I'm saying? That is Paris Saint Germain footballist women's club player Sakina Karuchi.
I mean, you won't hear me say this very often, but I like that she's close, that you don't get to see very much.
You know
But
what?
then
You know
another part of me do want to see a lot more, though. You
But
know.
no, and that's why I put that down right there to show that muscle in that thigh like that. Because look, you right on that though. That's what makes somebody beautiful. That you don't have to see
That you don't
them
have to.
in a way that have you so goddamn you want to jump their bones like that. You want to jump their bones just because man, that motherfucker right here looks good in a motherfucker, man.
Hmm.
That's what
Hmm.
the week is, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and that's another week in the books. You know what I'm saying?
Shout
Man,
out to Paris Saint Germain footballist
yeah. She all said out there playing that football lease.
women's club. Well, shout out to her. That's what's up. You always come through, base, with the beauty of the week. Shout out, man. You never fail it. Uh, you never disappoint. I'll say that. All right, let's move on to this other segment where we have the uglier, and the ugliest of them all. We bring it back this week. Last week, we shouted out those top performers, man. We had a $2 on the table last week. Came close, but we don't mention close. If you don't get over there, we ain't gonna shut down the show for you. You know what I mean? But speaking of which, there's some people that got under. And I'm talking about when I say under, I mean real under. The ugly, and this is very ugly for a team to have this pair perform like this at a key position. Anything flexing up is a key position, ladies and gentlemen. And if you get a 2.5 as a flex player, that's pretty ugly. Your team needs a lot more out of you
Yeah,
than a 2.5. That could be the difference. You could be the difference in a win or a loss.
yeah.
And he didn't do any. He didn't have much of an impact on the game. It got a little uglier though. Let me say, it
Yeah,
got a little uglier. Although the points may be higher, the expectation for the player makes it much much uglier. Uh, to us here at the top, and that's Malik Neighbors, a 4.6 going into Sunday night. Your team in position to win. You just had a 40 the week before. Cut it in half.
cut
Chop
it.
it up. Chop it up, baby. You understand? You bring a 24, and you are the reason that your team is out the door. But that 4.6, you're gonna get all the blame when you're the leader of the wide receiver course. So that's it got very, very, it got uglier, but this is the ugliest. The ugliest of them all. Come on, man. You're the better team. How do you score 116 points? It's not under 100 points, but 116 points in a scoring league is preposterous. Now we understand he had a catastrophic injury,
Yeah, I
you
mean,
know.
yeah, yeah,
But then when you look down the lineup, you made some changes. You made some coach changes that, hey man, maybe you should have made a different change and not have made a change. If you start Ferguson at tight end, 21 points.
yeah,
You find a flex position for Mario. Oh, 31, big 31. Oh, that's how I was saying. I was singing, oh, falling on the floor when I seen him go for that 31. So that 31 was the difference in victory. I mean, actually, if I flex Ferguson and put a Mario in there, it looked like I blow this boy out.
yeah, yeah,
And that's with the 4.6 for neighbors. But that's how uglier, and the better team. They got to get better, and which I believe they have. But we'll see. We'll see how they moves have played out for them the rest of the season. Let's go ahead and briefly touch in on our scoring leaders. Um, those who lead the league in scoring. currently on average. We have a new leader at the top. Jonathan Taylor is averaging 31.77 points per game, leading all scores. Shortly behind him, Lamar Jackson, QB8, 29, excuse me, 0.53. And then we have Cook as the third place is a even 29.0. As you can see, C-Mac rounds out the four, and Josh has number five on the list. Those are our leading scores this season. All
Yeah.
right, let's move around to this part of the show that I particularly take personal. For those who know, for those who don't know, it's LAB's TV5. That is the best
Uh,
five teams in the league. Um, I didn't even have a ban. I didn't have that pulled up. Okay, I don't have the graphic pulled up. Forgive me. I will have it pulled up going forward. I should have been on top of that. Maybe I can get my graphics team to do this while I do this segment. But LAV's TV5, that's the best five teams in the league, as seen by LAV. I, I'm not to be disputed, man. Come on, I got people working on this stuff, man. We put countless hours of the night to make sure we get it right. And coming in at number five, we have MMT. That is the Texas Tycoons. They rise up after their first week loss. They have been on a mini winning streak. They won two in a row. They are 2-1, and they find themselves at number five on LAV's and TV5. At number four, another team who lost in week one, who has risen from those ashes and put together the 2-game win streak. And may I add, they have been really nice in those games. One of those games they scored over $200 that the only team scored over 200 points this season. That is the Mac of the year. Shout out to them. They're number four on the list. At number three, he's standing right here in front of me, y'all. He's sitting right here. He had the win. He scraped up out of here. He's like a bottom feeder though, but 3-0 is 3-0. You know what I'm saying? Matters is it the lowest scoring in the league. They are a 3-0 team. Matters if they have beaten teams who haven't put up very many points. They have won the games that have been in front of them. And that is NNNG. No nuts, no glory. They remain 3-0. They have a man, listen, we don't get into that till a little bit later, but they have a matchup this coming this week where they can separate themselves from the pack.
yes,
And
sir.
and they can answer the question about these, low scoring teams that they beat. You know what I mean? So that remains to be seen. We ain't gonna get into too much of all that, but right now at three, he stays right where he is. And number two, Coach Tommy, the surprise of the season,
Yeah.
or two on our list and 3-0 this season. I mean, hey, listen, man, they've been right there all year. I mean, I know it's really early, but they've been performing each and every week, and they deserve to be right where they are on our list. But they can't knock off the mountain. They can't chip off, they can't climb Mount Everest, they can't climb to the highest heights because that is occupied right now. That is occupied by he who remains for the second week in a row. They dominate the top of LAV's TB5. They are 3-0. They had a very impressive win. They've made even more leaps and bounds in their organization to strengthen their position hold on LAB's TV5. And that's what we have right there. Shout out to he who remains HWR. And that's our list, man. That's LAB's TV5, the top of the five, the best five teams in Inside the Huddle as of week three, going to week four. What do you got to say about that, man? I know you are impressed by the top of LAB's TV5. How do you feel about the entire list, top to bottom?
I,
Oh, and no honorable mention. We do not, before you get it, I apologize. Before we go, we do not honor any team with a losing record. There is no honor in losing or having a losing record. So everybody else is 1-2. Go ahead, sir.
already, that's the kind of integrity that we need. And let me say this: I I want to give props to MMT and to the Mac of the Year for for starting out the season on a bad note and turning around and trucking forward like a locomotive
Mm.
and winning the next two games and positioning themselves to be on the TB5 list. And so I want to first clap them up, give them they just due for making the list. Now let me say this: uh, NNNG, they in the right position where they deserve to be at. They are undefeated, so you can't have nobody else in front of them because they undefeated. But fortunately enough for them, they've played all three games, averaged the lowest points out of everybody in the whole league. So they've had their way with teams that haven't played to their potential. So I want to speak. I want to say that. So they deserve to be undefeated. I mean, they deserve to be number three because they're undefeated. But uh, we're gonna see how undefeated they really are next week. But at number two, Lewis. Lewis, coach. Let me tell you, coach. Your squad has played so great this season up until this point. Yeah, I hurts to see you lose Lamb because now you're not going to be able to have your full potential, coach. So I don't know what's going to happen for your team going forward now. But up until these three games, I will say this: you have played. If we was in 100 meters, I was Usain, you was Justin Gatlin, you was just right behind me, bro. You was just right behind me. So let me say that. So he deserved to be at number two. Now, hey man, like you just said, we we made a move this week to try to put a stranglehold on this season, uh, and on the TV5. So that's all I'm gonna say on that right there. We'll see y'all
Yeah.
next week. We'll see y'all next week at the top.
All right, and that's our time for the LAB's TB5, the best five teams in the league inside the huddle. We're gonna go ahead and move on to divisions real quick. Just a little quick, shout out to he who remains. They're atop of the Mount Everest division. They're 3-0, followed by the MAC of the year. You see the point differential, 45 points separates them and a loss. Uh, Bill Belichick and Detroit are number or nothing of bringing up the bottom portion of the Mount Everest division. Over here, we have Lewis leading 3-0 in their division, 550 points for Collars are 1-2 with Ruben's Rowdy team with Bread Hunter still in the mist, even though they're at the bottom of the point scoring with 373. They're one game out of second place. I mean, they're tied for second place. They're one game away from taking over
Oh
sole
yeah,
possession of second place.
I forgot to, and I don't want to interrupt you, but I forgot. Let me get a shout out to my son, Bread Hunter, because he was the only person out of the only three teams to get a victory this week. We keep it moving.
Yeah, yeah, he was. Yeah, that's significant. Uh, and that is the Pentagon division led by Coach Tommy. We move right along to the Oval Office. Uh, all of our undefeated teams lead the divisions. I mean, that's interesting to see that. I mean, I guess if you are undefeated, and you is rightfully so. But it's no nuts, no glory. Who are undefeated. They beat MMT. They beat the better team. They 3-0 in their division. That's another thing we want to touch on. Every team is who leads the division leads it. They've only played division games, so they beat these. They're 3-0 in the division. They beat all three other teams in the division. We got the better team in third place, and then we got Mac 0-3 trying to get up out of the hole. As you can see, no nuts, no glory only averages 460 points. I mean, only has 464 points
Yeah,
on the season, but they're undefeated in the division
yeah,
because they need the division. Uh, all right, that's week three. So let's go ahead and close that out. We're gonna go ahead and get into these matchups, these week four matchups. We're gonna go ahead and pick these games. Um, let me get set up right quick. With 13 and What did I say we were?
13-5.
13-5, 13-5. Okay. All right, that's a BET. Let's go ahead and bust this game down, man. We're gonna kick it off real quick. We're gonna get Mac, who is 0-3. Uh, they made some moves. We need to see if those moves are going to be the right moves to get them their first win of the year. It's not like they have put up points; they just haven't put up victories, and they're going against natural born Kylers. Uh, natural born Kyler needs a win too. They're 1-2.
Yeah, they made a move or two this week too, though.
I should have edited. Hold on, let me see something really quick. I don't know how quick I could throw this in there. Who do you have in this matchup between Natural Born College and the Mac?
Well, you know what? I'm gonna go this week with the Mac. I think he finally gets off the snide this week, and I think he gets his first victory. I think that the players that he acquired, uh, I think they're gonna show up for him this week, and I think that he's gonna get his first victory this week. And I unfortunately for the Kylers, which I think is gonna be a close game though, but they're gonna fall to 1-3.
Mm, so they'll both be 1-3, is what you're telling me.
Yeah.
You got both teams going 1-3 after this smoke curve. All right, I got you for Mac. I'm gonna go, bro. I'm gonna go, bro. Uh, Yeah, I might be accused of having some kind of, nepotism or
Okay,
favoritism
wrong
for
with that.
family. If I'm gonna go down, man, I might as well go down with with my lifeblood, man. You know what I'm saying? I've been wrong before. It ain't gonna hurt to be wrong, but be right when I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? If you can pick that up, then you did what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's move it right along. We got Ruben's rowdy team, RRT. They're 1-2, and they're coming in against Phil Belichick, who's also 1-2. This is the battle of the 1-2s. I wanted to do a little skit type show. Who would you rather be? But I didn't have enough time to put it together. But in this situation, I would ask myself, I mean, man, it's kind of ugly. I've been riding with Phil week after week after week, and I've only been right 1 week, though it's only been three. But those two have hurt. I am going to go ahead and get out there, and I'm going to say Ruben's rowdy team
Mm,
comes away and they end up 2-2
mm.
over Phil Belichick. Both teams, I always have my saying, you got to show me. Both teams got to show me, but I just feel Phil Belichick is just sputtering right now. Even though they've been putting up some decent points, they got to show me. And until they show me, man, I'm gonna go with Ruben.
Well, we definitely gonna separate this week on our picks, and one of us gonna definitely be leading next week because I'm going with Phil Belichick to get to 2-2. I think that he does have the players to get the job done. I think that Justin Herbert didn't play up to his best last week, uh, and he didn't have to really because the running game did better than they have been in the first two games. But I think that he's going to have a great game, and I think that Phil Belichick is going to take this one.
Okay. I got you on record. I got you on record. Let's move right along. We got MMT and the Mac of the Year,
Mhm.
the battle of these two 2-1 teams. Again, this was a scenario I was going to bring up. I would want to know who would you rather be in this situation. The Mac of the Year has put up 200 over 200 points in a game. I want to break this down a little bit more. Okay, I'm jumping in. They got Daniel Jones out there. Cook is gonna do what he do. Warren has been nice. Chase can use to a little bit more stepping up. Ema, you are interesting. Then we got Nico hurt. Have to elevate Waddle because of uh, he's got a big injury to his starting receiver, Mike Evans.
Mhm.
That can hurt. Who's bringing up flex with Montgomery? Oh my God, I'm gonna take MMT to get to 3-1.
And,
Uh,
and
I like what the Mac of the Year has done to get themselves back right here, but I think it's not gonna be enough.
and I totally agree with you on this. I was waiting for you to reel off what the back of the year had going on this week, and I think that MMT gonna have the firepower to get the job done. They scored 177 last week on Magnificent Max Magnificent, so I
Hmm.
they primed to do 170 again this week. So be looking out for that. So I got MMT to get to 3-1.
Okay, we agree on that one. I think we may have a disagreement on this one. I've been looking at Detroit or nothing. I don't know why they haven't been able to put it together, but they got a nice team over there. They got a lot of talent on that team. Um, I think they get up off the mat this week. I think last week nephew got off the mat. Uh, this year, this week, I think it's done. It's going to get their first win. Both teams will be 1-3, which will make interesting in the league. You know, there will be some high, and then there will be a group that is right there in the mix. There'll be a team that's right there muddling in the mist, in the mud, and they scrape it and still have a chance, even with being 1-3. They won't be that far away from a playoff spot. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it to Dunn this week. See if Detroit or nothing can get their first win. And
Oh,
I'm sure you're gonna take your boy. You're gonna
yeah,
take your son. You're gonna take bread this week.
yeah, and let me elaborate a little bit on that. When Tracy goes down and he's out multiple weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, Scatterboo already had been taking his shine already. Now it's gonna be full, all blown Scatterboo, so he gonna be an RB1 now. I feel like for the Giants and for fantasy, and now George Pickens, he ain't got to worry about CD Lamb hogging up all of the airspace, all in the videos, all so he ain't got to worry about that no more. So now Pickens is gonna be the number 1. And AJ Brown finally came around last week, and we had an AJ Brown sighting. So I feel like when you put Lamar Jackson, Scatterboo, AJ Brown, Pickens, them four right there is gonna be enough to prepare Bread to the victory.
I can see that path to victory being the case. I'm gonna stick with Detroit or nothing on this one. Uh, I feel like I feel like they got to get up. I feel like they got to get up. I normally will say, yeah, you got to show me. I'm not gonna take you till you show me something. But I was looking at their team and I really tried to make a trade. They didn't respond to me. I saw something on their bench that I felt like could have been easily elevated to starter status. But they haven't hollered at me. But be that as it may, we're gonna move right along. Uh, most people would say this is a big game. I don't think Lewis thinks that this is a big game. Uh, the better team better know that this is a big game. You don't want to go on three. You want to try to at least get this shit level as you go into the next week. But we have the standing right now. We have a 3-0 Lewis, Coach Tommy, going against the better team, and better team is struggling. They're off to a slow start. They're 1-2. Uh, I won't say that there are not people in this organization who have been in this position before and may feel they got the league right where they want them. Uh, they have made some moves. They made some very interesting moves. Uh, I see that Trey Hendrickson is no longer in the team. They got Karlaftis. Uh, he's a dog. They swapped out the defense. So far, they've been streaming pretty good with defense. Swapped out the punter, swapped out the head coach. But the interesting spot that I see there's a swap is at DB. Travis Hunter, as we spoke on that trade earlier, I think that is going to be an impactful position for the better team, not only this week, but going forward. Uh, it looks like they're going to start Ferguson at flex and run the double tight.
Mm,
Uh,
interesting.
Pitt elevated to the starting wide receiver position. He has a Q with questionable with a calf. I think that's more formality. than actually injury to be worried about. Same thing with Neighbors. Neighbors has a stiff back. I think that's just more formality. Travis has been elevated to the starting lineup since he's gotten there, and Hampton, after receiving a benching, responding with a 31, has put
Mm.
itself back in RB1 position. I mean, it didn't hurt that James that my boy Big Game James is gone, no longer on the team. Oh man, that was hard. That hurt. That hurt. That hurt. I traded him last year out of fear of him getting injured, and I brought him back this week. And guess what Connor does?
And you
Goes
remind
at the
draft him, man.
I want to say he was our number three pick.
Okay,
I think he was the number three pick. Yeah.
pretty
Mm.
high pick to lose.
Yeah, I mean, Tracy was a pretty high pick too. He got moved. This team has been able to move some pieces before. Those pieces have been broken up completely. I'm gonna go ahead and get you out of here with your pick. Everyone knows who I'm gonna pick. They don't want to know why I'm gonna pick me. Yeah, I mean, I'm going up against a 3-0 team. I don't have no chance of winning against that team. That team has everything going for itself. Uh, who do you choose?
Well, in this particular game, I think that not having CD Lamb is gonna be more of a detriment on Coach Lewis' team than he thinks. And like last week's game, now he had 40 from the defense. So let's just use this as an example. If a 10 is a great day for a defense, right? So so if you take 30 points off that, then he's right there to be had, in that particular week right there. But defense did play it the way that they played. But of course, we know that you can't expect that kind of performance every week. Now, the player that he has that I feel like that no doubt you can expect to do their job is Jonathan Taylor. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's who he got the guarantee. And CeeDee Lamb was that other guaranteed player, and he no longer have that guarantee like that. So I feel like all of the other players that he's had has played above their skis at this point. The Keenan Allens of the world, the Ibukas of the world. You have possibly what's the name? I was trying to pick him up in free agency. You scooped him up from me.
Godwin.
Chris
Godwin
Godwin.
is coming
He
back.
he's possibly coming back this weekend, and he's going to demand targets. And I just think that Ibuka, hopeful maybe Ibuka is the next Puka, but we'll find out. We'll find out here shortly. But I think that with this week with TBT, I think that with the moves that they made, uh, and elevating Hampton back into the starting lineup, and Travis Hunter at the DB position, I think that their team is so balanced from top to bottom with Allen down to Travis Hunter. Like I think that they they're gonna pull this one out this week. So I went a long way around to say that I think that Lewis no longer is going to be undefeated come next week, and the TBT will get this victory to go to 2-2.
Well, it appears we're only thus far two games different. Well, we disagreed
Well,
on the game.
we 3 games different.
Uh, you took Mac. I took MBK. You took Phil. I took oh yeah, Bread. Okay, 3 games different. Okay. Let's go ahead and get into our game of the week. I like to call it the game of the week, especially when you have the two undefeated teams clashing at the top to see who's going to be the last one remaining. Will it be he who remains? Will he continue to remain to be undefeated, or will it be no nuts, no glory? Uh, got both of these teams coming together. It's going to be a fantastic matchup. I'm gonna get out here real quick. I'm not gonna be too long winded about this. I'm gonna be short and to the point for the most point about this. Let me bring up this matchup. Uh Jacob's questionable. Swift, but Juku. Otherwise noted, and I mean this is my division mate, no nuts, no glory. I just don't, I got to see it happen. He doesn't even. This is crazy. He doesn't even have Henry in the game. Where is? Am I tripping? Oh, there he is. No, he's flexing Henry. Oh, he's saying you can't even make it to one of the starting two running back spots. But we'll flex you. We'll put you at flex. I'm looking at one, two, three, four, five, 20 point projected starters in this lineup. The only weakness we look at is at the tight end position. He can't seem to get the tight end position right. But everything else looks sparkling. It looks very good for he who remains. And, you got to show me. You got to show me that you can beat them in NG. And if you do, I give you all the glory. But until then, I'm gonna stay with he who remains HWR. I already know that's he who he's taking himself. I just don't know exactly why. And we're gonna find out together, ladies and gentlemen. The floor is yours.
You know what? I can't wait to see Henry in my lineup this week. When I first picked up Henry, he was projected to do a 22. They have since raised him to a 23. They must feel like that fumble that he had last week is going to have him steaming. I'm hoping Henry come out and give a 40 ball again or something like that is what I'm hoping. But with that being said, you said it. I mean, 5 players of 20 points, a higher projection. So and that's only 5. I have other players like Gary Wilson that can get over a 20. That's not projected to do a 20. I think that this is going to be the test for NNNG to see can they really compete with a team that puts up points. The lowest we've scored this year is 178. So if you're talking about beating us, you better come with 180. If you're talking about beating us, so this ain't the week for Dak Prescott to have a 12. This ain't the week for Jacobs
Yeah.
to have a 16. This ain't that week. I
I don't think
promise you.
Dak is starting.
Huh?
I don't think Dak is starting
Oh
this
no,
week.
that's right. He's starting Trevor Lawrence. That's right. I see.
I don't. I
What
don't even
are we
think he's starting
talking
Trevor
about?
Lawrence.
What are we? Huh?
I don't even think he's starting Trevor Lawrence.
Oh, he got somebody else.
He looked like he's starting Gino.
He gonna put Gino in. So,
Thing
so
that worries me about no nuts no glory. If you got three quarterbacks, do you really have a quarterback?
you don't. You don't. Because you can't even make a decision on who you want to go with. Like you basically said this is what he said when he went and picked up Gino. Then he said that the 2 quarterbacks he got ain't getting the job done because Gino come in and he's starting immediately. They already in shambles over there. As St. Brown, this ain't the week to have no 14, brother. No, it ain't.
And, and it's interesting. He benched Kyle Pitts this week, and he will be going with Njoku. So you guys will be starting both tight ends for Cleveland. One of y'all gonna be right. The other one's gonna be very wrong.
but
That's
but look,
crazy, bro.
I am so impressed by the Seattle fucking Seahawks defense this season, and
Damn.
that they're the number 2 defense in the league. They average. I'm talking about this season through 3 games. They average over 15 points, almost 16 points a game. This is a
Been
defense.
impressive. They've been impressive. They have been impressive thus far this season.
You know, I happened to pick up Byron Young, the number one D lineman in the league right now. He
Yeah.
averaged he averaged over 10. Picked him up in
The
February.
4.98, but he's went over that projection each and every week thus far. And you got to see our head coach against Arizona.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
look, like they got Seattle right there saying that they just gonna get a one this week. Are you kidding
Nigga
me?
stole my punter too. I was gonna get Cleveland punter. That nigga went and picked up Cleveland punter off the free agent. Why? That's crazy. Yeah, I can't go with him because I can't take his quarterback situation serious. I can't take his tight end situation serious. He is solid at running back. I can't. I don't. I can't take starting Worthy. Like the first game back, I just to me
Yeah,
the first game back, people who come off injuries always need another a game or two to get
yeah.
back acclimated.
See this that week. Don't be surprised if Worthy get between a 5 and a 12. That's the kind of week that is when you first come back. Come on
Come
now.
back. Yeah, I
But I ain't
agree.
mad at him. I ain't mad at him. Do whatever. Put whoever in you got to put in. Cause we bringing our hard hats.
Well, another excellent show. That's been our time here at the top. We'll get back with y'all next week, man. Y'all stay tuned to all our updates. We dropping shit in the chat. Y'all appreciate all y'all gentlemen in the league. We out this motherfucker, man. The top one.
Already.
Top feels so much better than the bottom.